Why, hello there everyone, how's it going? I'm the Kumo Sensei, and it's honestly been a long time since the last live stream. But I hope everybody's doing well today, and if not, then I hope everybody's doing a much better day later, or tomorrow, or whenever. Just keep pushing and things will work out. It's honestly been a little bit since the last live stream, honestly, so it's good to see everybody again. I don't necessarily have too much of plans, I guess, for this live stream. So for those who missed out on this live stream, I wouldn't necessarily worry too much because this live stream, it is not necessarily anything too big in terms of announcements, just some catching up and just me greeting you guys again. It's been a while, honestly. So, what has been going on and what have I been doing, for those who are wondering? And honestly, work, voice acting, and exercising. That's really about it, honestly, for like the big things. And then everything else is pretty much the typical, such as spider work and whatnot. The spider work has, it is improving a little bit. Still a long way to go. And honestly, I don't know exactly when it will take off, but at some point, I'm hoping it will. Now, granted, guys, I've been way too busy, so I have been slacking on manga. In terms of anime, really, I've been watching a lot of the main stuff, so I am caught up to most of them, such as Mushoku Tensei, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, etc, etc. Any of those big series, I'm pretty much caught up with. So, there's nothing really too worrisome in terms of that end, I guess. Now, in terms of anime stuff I missed out on, manga, oh boy. I finally caught up to One Piece's manga again, and I have to say, Luffy versus Kizaru is one of the most, oh man, that is interesting for sure, but I would really like to see him go against Akainu, but let us just see what happens, right, for One Piece. But it's still peak, which is honestly surprising. I want to see how well he does. Oh man, I have so much I got to catch up on. Hello there, John Knight. It's been a while. I have to say, we've been slacking on the mangas, but I am caught up on most of the animes. So I have been watching anime still, guys. And anime news, I'm caught up to most of them, not all of them. And yeah, so anime news has been kind of, there's been a lot of stuff. I don't even know where to begin. But let's just say a lot of anime news has happened. It's been a while since I last made any anime news videos, and the reason why is not because I lost interest. It's more so of I just don't have time to be making them as of now because I've been trying to crank up my personal life like this. Boom, 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 boom. And because of that, it kind of really put a denture on like the uploading for anime. I finally caught up with Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 dub. Yes, it's a good thing. The dub is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's not my hair's a wreck, but don't mind it. It's because I'm gonna go to work in a little bit with the spiders and everything else. But the dub for Jujutsu Kaisen, look, the dub for Jujutsu Kaisen is not bad for most of it. Okay. Now, granted, is it as good as the Japanese dub? No, the Japanese original is always going to be top tier for most cases. The only exceptions is if like it's a Western setting, I guess, then maybe English dub is pretty good. For example, Bakano. I thought Bakano's English dub was better than the Japanese in some ways because it takes place in America, for example. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen has been hyped. It's it's kind of funny how people are still complaining about Jujutsu Kaisen. You saw the news. Everybody on Twitter is complaining, saying that Jujutsu Kaisen's latest episode's animation was not top tier. It's such a dumb argument. Like, I feel like anime fans are kind of too entitled at in some points, man. Like, just be glad there's an anime at least. Like, come on now. But it's been a while since I last talked to any one of you guys, so it's good to catch up on you. And the good news is that I've actually been saving up money to try to do two things as of now before I get my car. I think the car, like I stated, I want to get my car before I'm 30. That'll probably happen, but there are two things I want to accomplish. One, I would like to upgrade my PC, and two, I would like to actually upgrade my Wi-Fi. So the moment I upgrade this Wi-Fi, I would really like to start playing some games on live, like playing games on a live stream, like how most live streams do. But the question is, how long will it take and when will it happen? And I'd say within 2 to 3 months. And I've been trying to save as much money as I can just because I really want to upgrade my PC. And I will make a video actually the moment I upgrade this PC, because I'm going to miss using this old PC here, Shiro. Yeah, Shiro, my old PC here, I'm going to miss him. And for those who are wondering, Shiro, the way I'm using Shiro in Japanese is not white. Okay, guys? I don't know why people keep telling me your PC is dark, it's black. Why are you naming it Shiro? Shiro is castle in Japanese. It's not just white. And I don't know why people... It's like that whole saying in Japanese, naki, 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 naki. Oh gosh. But you get the gist though, guys. It is kind of confusing, but I will be upgrading my PC soon, within the next 2 to 3 months. It will happen for sure. The question is, I'm just hoping that nothing gets in the way, because like, for example, helping my parents pay bills or something along the lines of that. If that comes up, then it'll probably be held back a little bit. But yeah though, guys, PC upgrade is coming pretty soon, within the next 2 months. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. But let's hope there's no delays or anything going bad. And I also want to talk about upgrading this Wi-Fi. So I will upgrade this Wi-Fi, but the question is, I don't know exactly the whole process of upgrading this Wi-Fi. Now, I would like this Wi-Fi to be at least twice the internet bandwidth speed. So currently, the internet bandwidth speed is around 2,000 kilobytes per second, I think, or kbs per second. And I really would like that to be around 350 to 4,000. I mean, 3,500 to 4,000 kbs and not 2,000. So I'm hoping I can actually upgrade this house Wi-Fi, because it is abysmal. But once we do, once we upgrade those 2 things, everyone, we should be able to start playing more games on this live stream, I guess. I don't know exactly what I'll play, because it's going to cost a lot of money for all of that. But once it happens, though, I think this will be a more interesting live stream, I guess. And I will do YouTube nights on Twitch as well, I guess. Just because, why not? You really need to upgrade your computer. Oh, yeah. John, you're totally right. I need to upgrade it. But once I upgrade it, though, I'm going to explain why I'm upgrading it and go into the story behind this PC, by the way, that I'm currently using. This PC that you're currently seeing me use has been with me since the beginning almost. I built this PC when I was a kid. Well, I planned it out as a young teenager, and I had it for such a long time. It's honestly time for this PC to be put into retirement. And honestly, it's kind of sad, because there's a lot of good memories I have with this PC. Like, I'm not even kidding. People don't understand this PC, man. This PC and I, we go way back. I will explain it the moment I replace it, though. I will give you like some backstory as to why this PC means a lot to me, and explain like the story of how I built this PC that I'm currently using that will be replaced in the future. So I'd say 2 to 3 months when we get the new PC. As for the Wi-Fi upgrade, within a little bit sometime after that. And then I'm going to save up and try to get a car or get something of the sorts. And that's going to be the most interesting perspective. I'm just hoping, fingers crossed. The reason why I say fingers crossed is because I'm hoping that nothing holds me back. Some things will, but I'm prepared for that. So let us pray, John. Let us pray. Let us pray, man, because I am praying. And then honestly, after that, I'm not too certain what I want to do with like upgrades and stuff. Because like I stated in my 20s to-do list video, I guess, my bucket list or whatnot, I do want to get into more of voice acting, but I don't necessarily need to upgrade much for voice acting. Well, on a professional level, yes, I'm going to need to upgrade a lot, but on an amateur level, I don't really need too much to upgrade. So after the end of this year and the beginning of next year, I'm going to be kind of figuring out what to do next, because the spider collection in that, even though people do wonder about the spider work and whatnot and trying to build a business with that may seem like the hardest part, but honestly, for me, I've started the spiders and stuff when I was in like when I was like 16. So I started a long while back. So to be fair, I can start my Tarantula business anytime I want to. The only reason why I have not yet is because I'm trying to actually make sure I do it right. That is the biggest thing I want to do right. It's not necessarily just launching a business. I just want to do it right. So I'm going to take my time on that. But once I'm comfortable enough though, the spider business will work itself out in most cases. Now, I don't know exactly how it'll go because this is going to be a huge step in my life, honestly, the moment I start the Tarantula business. I'm not saying I'm going to quit my job and go full time here. I'm going to do this Tarantula business as like a passion part-time. And then if it works out, I will make it a full-time income. If not, then it will just stay as a passive part-time income, I guess. And that's really the plans we have going on right now. In terms of animes and stuff, I still will talk about animes, and maybe I'll make an anime news video once every now and then. But the reason why I don't want to do those much anymore is not because I don't find it interesting. I still do find anime news interesting. It's just because I want to start focusing on my life, my career path, honestly. I'm praying to God that somebody will reach out to me and just like do some sort of collaboration with voice work or anything in general. I'm not I'm to be honest, I am kind of desperate for some voice acting stuff, but that's currently the hardest struggle I'm currently facing, is finding people that are willing to give me a chance. And if I'm being honest, everyone, I don't know exactly how long it'll take. I'm like it may not ever happen, my chance, but I'm praying to God though. So I'm trying to post more voice acting stuff in hopes that people will actually find me. Because while I am without a doubt really good with anime, I don't want to make anime my only niche. Like, I want to be known for my talents, not necessarily my knowledge of anime. And and it's funny too because like I'm a very consistent person, so I'm always up to date when it comes to most anime news. Most, mind you, most anime news. Not everything, but most. But the problem is that I don't want to do just anime. I also want to do everything else I want to do and hopefully start a career. And that is the part that has been the most challenging. I've already started. That's the good thing. The bad news is that I just can't find the right opportunity, guys. So for everyone who is watching, I hope that one day you guys can actually, reach out and maybe branch me off somewhere, or maybe look back on this in the future and be like, "Yep, he made it," or at least he tried. Because I don't want to make a promise that I'll make it. There is no promises, guys. What I'm doing is legit full-on risk, but you gotta take risk at some point. I'm just eagerly waiting. Like, I even have stuff written right here on my sticky notes about stuff I want to talk about today. The talent frustrations, we just talked about that. I'm really frustrated because I really want to do more voice acting stuff, but the thing is that editing voice work is so difficult that it takes up more time than actually talking about anime news videos. Okay, I gotta be honest here. The one thing I did not consider when jumping more into voice acting was the fact that how taxing and how much more time consuming it is to do voice acting work and voice acting in general than it is to making anime videos. Because when it came to my anime news videos, those videos were really easy to make. I could legit pop a video out every hour or so if I wanted to. But what I didn't consider into voice acting was the fact that it requires more precision, honestly. So I can't just be cranking out videos the way I want to. So a lot of my voice acting videos that I post out currently are very short. I think everybody knows that. A lot of my voice acting videos are very short. They're around 10 seconds all the way up to a minute. Sometimes longer, but it is an interesting experience. I'm still picking up, honestly. I can edit pretty well now in terms of the audio, but making the video with the audio takes more time than actually just focusing solely on video editing in comparison to the anime videos. The anime news videos it was just simple editing, and it was really fun. And although I do enjoy voice acting videos, like making them is really fun, and it pays off a lot. The payoff for making them is amazing. As a matter of fact, I have a voice acting video I'm going to post today. And man, oh, I love it so much. I don't know why. It is about wisdom of happiness and poetry, sort of. It is going to be awesome. It's only about 40 seconds long, 40 to 50 seconds long. So it's not that long, but I love it so much. And honestly, I know that people want to see me talk about anime, but I'm so passionate when it comes to this voice acting work. And voice acting was never hard for me to a certain extent. And let me explain why. The answer is simple. I started off with stage acting, and then I breached out to voice acting. So for me, I already had a general understanding of how voice acting worked. So coming into this, I already knew some of the challenges and complications, but I didn't really understand the implications of how complicated editing or making a video with voice acting could be. So that in itself is the learning process. The actual voice acting part, or the voice acting talent in itself, is not too difficult. Because honestly, if you understand the principles of acting and like your interpretation of what you want to convey, then really it comes much more easier, I guess. So since I'm a stage actor, everything is like everything is not easier, but it's much more easy. It's much more faster to grasp on things. But yeah, though, guys, it's been going well overall, though, with voice acting. I'm just praying that my time will come. Same thing for stage acting and dance instructing. Like dance instructing, although I am a dance instructor, I would really like to be known sometime soon. But dance instructing is kind of over for the season. But I'm still dancing though, guys. Everybody wants to see more dancing videos from me or something. Maybe I'll post like a short minute dance sample, I guess, for fun, because why not? But let us see. As for everything else, we're pretty much caught up, I guess. In terms of, like, there's nothing really much to catch up you guys on, because really I've been working and just doing stuff in the background. So nothing too crazy. Like I stated, guys, I'm usually very transparent, so I just kind of tell things how it is. So that way, like, there's no disclosure, I guess, or no open gaps if the stuff I say doesn't make sense. Because I just really want to catch you guys up to speed if possible. And I'm kind of, oh man. I'm kind of worried because I don't know exactly how long I'm going to be on this journey. And in 25 days, about 24 days actually, in 24 days, everybody, it will be officially be 2 years of constant uploading, daily uploads. I've been uploading one video a minimum every single day now for 711 days. Once we hit 730 days, it will be officially be 2 years. So we're 19 days? Wow. So we're really close to 2 years. And honestly, 2 years went by so fast that I did not even keep up with time. When I was younger, time seemed to go at such a slow pace. But man, it kind of worries me. Because I've been doing YouTube for this long, and I feel like we've gotten far, but also nowhere at the same time. This Saturday is the first day of fall. Oh boy, yeah. I'm so ready for fall, because then I can actually dress in style that I like. I'm not really the biggest fan of summer outfits. My favorite seasonal outfits are fall and winter outfits. Those are pretty cool. Spring outfits are fine. Summer outfits, I just literally wear shorts. I'm the worst in terms of style when it comes to summer, but every other season I can dress pretty well and style myself pretty well. And oh man, I look so beautiful on stream sometimes. I just can't help it. But yeah though, guys, by the end of this year though, 2 things will happen. Number 1, Wi-Fi upgrade. PC upgrade. I will upgrade the PC without a doubt. And the second is hopefully we're praying, fingers crossed, that we can upgrade this Wi-Fi. Now, if we can upgrade this Wi-Fi, I will for sure, without a doubt, start playing games on this freaking YouTube channel, on the live streams. I will actually do it if we can upgrade this Wi-Fi. But once we do though, if we can for the Wi-Fi, I'm gonna enjoy every single bit of it. And I don't know exactly what I'll play. Like, I really don't know. I don't have any plans for games and whatnot. I do like Power Wash Simulator because it's more just you sit back and chill. But I also like to play other games as well. I'm not really the biggest fan of first-person shooters in most cases, especially on the competitive side of things, because that's not really my sort of taste in games. I do like RPGs though, but the problem is that RPGs are not necessarily fun to watch on a live stream. They're more fun to play yourself rather than watch somebody else play. But hey, that's just my personal bias, okay guys? So for example, when it comes to the Final Fantasy series, I love Final Fantasy, but I have to say watching somebody play on a live stream is relatively like it's a burn. It's a slow burn. But that's how Final Fantasy works. And RPGs are kind of like that in that matter. So I'm just hoping things will work out, guys. But let us get our fists ready, guys. Because we're gonna upgrade this goddamn PC. Like, I am tired of making excuses. I don't even make excuses, but I'm tired of this freaking delay of like this PC never getting upgraded. I'm gonna upgrade this goddamn PC, and within the next 2 to 3 months, it's gonna happen. I don't know exactly what we will do once we upgrade it, because I haven't really planned a lot of this stuff out. And when I say plan, like I set goals in mind, but I haven't set plans afterwards, if you get what I'm saying. So this is going to open a new door for sure. A new can of worms is going to be opened once we get this new PC. I don't know exactly what I'll do. I will say this though, the moment we get this new PC, video editing should be much more quicker. So putting out videos shouldn't be too much of an issue. Like editing wise, that is. But uploading, that's still going to take up internet speed, and our internet is garbage. But we'll work things out, guys. But if anybody wants to know what's up, please feel free to ask any questions, because it's kind of there's nothing really much to catch you guys up. There's really nothing to catch up on, honestly, unless you want to talk about anime. But then again, guys, the manga I've been slacking on reading. In terms of reading animes and stuff, like reading mangas, light novels and stuff, I stopped completely for a while now. But I still watch anime, just not as frequently. Especially on days that I'm working, which is honestly kind of lame. But so I don't really get much days off anymore, which is kind of surprising. And although I do work part-time jobs online as well, even though it's temporary on and off, it's more lenient than per se my actual part-time job that I physically have to go to. Are you ready for fall anime season? Yes and no. The reason why I say that is because here's the reason why I say no. It's because I feel like this anime season went by so fast that like people didn't really have much time to actually absorb what they watch. And I think some great examples is Dark Gathering. I love Dark Gathering. I thought Dark Gathering is like such a great horror anime, for example. Another example is Mushoku Tensei and Jujutsu Kaisen. I think those animes are very enjoyable for this current season, but I feel like once this season ends, people are just going to forget about it. Kind of happened with Chainsaw Man as well, to be honest. And I feel kind of bad because I feel like there needs to be some sort of break period where like there's just like a month where there's just no animes releasing. So that way people can actually have time to absorb what they watch and actually form discussions and have fun. Because like the way anime works now is so fast paced. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm also very excited for the fall anime season because Eminence and Shadow, oh man, Eminence and Shadow. I really want to see what they do because the latest season 2, man, oh my gosh. And also, I think Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy also comes out either this fall season or was it the winter of 2024? I can't recall, but I am so hyped for the fall anime season. The thing I wonder the most is like, is the anime delays. That's the thing I wonder the most. Like, the anime has been on a freaking, like, they've been freaking going on delays and hiatuses at such a constant pace. It's honestly surprising. Let me actually pull it up for a second. Hold up. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this up for a second. I need to look at this again. I don't remember all of the animes. Okay, here we are. Alright, so this is the fall anime season. Oh man. This is a what? Oh my god. What is this list? There is so much good stuff on here. What in the world? My mouth is watering. Oh wow. Oh, wait. Is it on this season or no? No, Moonlit Fantasy is not on this season. Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy is next year, okay. Yeah. But my god, is this list so huge. I will say this, I'm not gonna watch all of these. Okay, so, yeah, there goes that. Okay, so let us break this down real quick, everybody, because this is a lot. I did not expect this many popular series. Okay, so let us start with this. Tate no Yusha no Nariagari, Season 3. Rising of the Shield Hero, Season 3. I'm not gonna lie, I love Kinema Citrus, but I'm not gonna watch Season 3 because it loses a lot of steam. Okay? I'm gonna just either binge watch this once all the episodes release, or just watch it whenever I have free time. John, sounds like you surprised. Look, I did not expect all of this at once. This is a lot to take in, and this is a lot for me to watch. So I can't watch every single one of these because my personal life has been getting super busy. But man, that is just insane though. And then we have Goblin Slayer. So we have Goblin Slayer Season 2. So, I gotta be honest, I am not the biggest fan of Goblin Slayer. I think Goblin Slayer is very edgy and cool because of that, because of his edginess. I even made a voiceover video of Goblin Slayer summary on this channel, believe it or not. But, I personally would not watch Goblin Slayer Season 2. And it's just because that I feel like it lost a lot of steam. And also because it's not the same studio from the first season. This is by Leiden Films. The first season of Goblin Slayer was by Studio White Fox, and they changed anime studios. So this one here is going to be hit or miss. For sure, it is going to be hit or miss. We kind of have to wait and see, honestly. Then we have Spy Family Season 2. I'm going to watch this no matter what. I love Spy Family. That is no joke. Like, goddamn. Cloverworks and Wit Studio. Like, that is one killer collaboration. And I actually love Spy Family. I think the adaptation to the source material is really good too. I can't really fault this anime at all. Like, it's just wholesome and fun. This reminds me of what old school anime used to be. Which is why, like, I have such a soft spot for Spy Family Season 2. Is because this reminds me of, like, old school anime, sort of. Even though it doesn't seem like it, it does, man. Like, this gives me, like, a pre-2012 anime feeling. And I love that feeling. And then we have the Eminence of Shadow Season 2. I'm gonna watch this regardless. Eminence of Shadow Season 2... The first season has such a great cliffhanger. It really got me excited. I'm going to be honest though, a lot of people kind of lost interest in this after the first season, but I think people will jump back onto this. Dr. Stone New World Part 2, I'm going to hold off on this. Freedom Beyond Journey's End. This is a show I have been hyping a lot. I have very high expectations for this show here. Because number one, the manga is actually kind of sad. Two, is by Studio Madhouse. Yes, the OG Studio Madhouse is making this. And three, they have actual good voice actors. So I really have very high hopes for this anime here. I don't know exactly where they'll leave off on the first season. They did announce it would be 2 cores, right? So I have very high expectations for this. So let us wait and see how this will turn out. Now,
Tokyo Revengers. Ah, yes. The third season
of this. Okay. Tokyo Revengers lost a lot of momentum. I don't know what happened, but it's not as hype as it once was. And I think the reason why is because season 2, or the last season, was not as good. So it's slowly losing potential here. But I still think Tokyo Revengers is interesting. Not to mention the live action was not that great. No offense, okay guys? Now, Saihate no Paladin. Tetsusabi no Yama no... Oh, the second season, The Faraway Paladin. I'm actually excited for this. Like, this show here is what I like. It's like slow life, but not really. It's an interesting isekai. I like this a lot. Even though this series is not popular, I still like it. Great light novel, by the way. Kusuriya no Hitorigoto. The Apothecary Diaries. Oh man. Okay, so everybody has been hyping this show, yo. I have high expectations, without a doubt, for this show. Because people have been demanding. So there's a bit of history behind this. So the Apothecary Diaries, I believe, I know that's a light novel, but I don't know exactly its origins and where it came from, where it was published. But the only thing I do know was that this light novel has a lot of hype. Like, so much hype. People have been demanding for an anime for this series for like the past 3 years, and we're finally getting it. And it's by studios OM and Toho Animation Studio, which is kind of surprising because those 2 studios are pretty much well-renowned in the industry. And I did do a reaction to the trailer, as a matter of fact, when I was talking about this. I have very high expectations for this. And, you know, mind you guys, most of this show, when I watch, will be blind. Because although I have read the light novels, I'm not super deep into it. So I'm not too far in within the first few chapters. Because I kind of stopped, to be honest. Because like I said, I stopped reading a lot of stuff because I've been busy with my personal life. But from what everybody has been telling me, this is like top tier drama, sort of. So I have very high expectations for this. Now, look, granted, I'm not going to watch this when it comes out. I'm going to wait for episodes to air, and then I'm going to hop on a little bit late, so that way I can get a better consumption of this series, instead of waiting 1 episode at a time. I'm going to skip on this. I don't know what this is, but this is a light novel, so I pass on this. Undead Unluck. So Undead Unluck is actually part of the Shonen Jump roster, believe it or not. So this is actually part of Shonen Jump. This is also published on Viz Media for those who wants to read this weekly and legally. That is, go to vizmedia.com/Shonen Jump. Not sponsored, by the way, but if you want to read Undead Unluck, that's where you go read it. And honestly, Undead Unluck, from what I've heard from the fan base and people who read the first few chapters, they don't really like the main character. I forgot what's his name. But the main character, that dude, he's kind of a pervert from what I hear. So I kind of want to see what this is about. And it's by Studio David Production. So David Production is known for the JoJo series. So that kind of makes me scratch my head a lot. But I kind of had to see more before I can give a solid opinion. But as of now, I'm going to go into this one with no expectations at all. And Kanojo mo Kanojo second season. I'm going to pass on this. Okay. The Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent Season 2. I actually did not believe... I could not believe that this series here got a second season. Because I thought that, like, it was only going to get 1 season and that was it. And we'll never see anything else from Sei or her friends ever again. I actually like this series a lot, though. So that's kind of a bias. I like this show a lot. Okay, I admit, it's a very light-hearted, slow-paced, isekai romance, but I love it. Fight me. This is like a show for grown-ups. I feel like if I watched this as a teenager or as like a fresh into college student, I would not enjoy this show. But as I become an adult, I kind of like this slow pacing kind of stuff. And this show I like a lot. Dead Mount Season 2. Pass on that. The 100 Girlfriends Who really like you. I'm gonna pass on this, man. I know that people have been talking about this manga here, but this is just not for me. Like, I'm not into the harem stuff. Okay. I don't know what this is, I'll pass. The Ancient Magus Bride Season 2 Part 2. I still need to finish the first part, actually, for Season 2. But I actually love the Ancient Magus Bride, though. That's the English name for this, if you're wondering. Excuse myself. So, the Ancient Magus Bride was actually, I believe it was a web manga, a web series, and then it got in like an anime special, and then it got after that, it got an official anime adaptation. And it's crazy too, because it took such a long time. Like, I think it took a few years before we actually gotten the Ancient Magus Bride anime. And man, it was in demand for so long, because if there's one thing that really describes this series, is that it's pure fantasy. Like, this is what I will call pure fantasy anime, or a pure fantasy series. There's no like crazy action sequences, or no crazy like I don't know, shonen elements in it. It does have some drama elements in it, but it's like 99% pure fantasy. I love this world, by the way. The world building for this series is amazing. The Kingdoms of Ruin. Everybody here is so skeptical of this. So the Kingdoms of Ruin, everybody is skeptical of this show. I don't know why. It just looks like a typical anime show to me. But hey, guys, it is what it is. Let us wait and see about what they do with this, because they do have some voice cast from Attack on Titan working on this for the voiceovers and stuff. So we really got to see what the Kingdoms of Ruin bring. It's strange because everybody is already talking about that this series is going to be bad and whatnot. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know anything about this series at all when it comes to the Kingdoms of Ruin. And if I'm being honest, I did not know anything about it until the day I talked about it on this channel. But that's all I can say. So let us continue. The Demon Swordmaster of Excalibur Academy. I actually talked about this anime here, I think. Yeah, I did. I talked about this this light novel getting an anime adaptation here on the channel a while back, I believe. And it's really interesting because Passione is a very interesting anime. They're very interesting in terms of being an anime studio. They can nail character models right, but I feel like when it comes to actual animation itself, it can be hit or miss at times. When it's peak, it's peak. When it's low, it's at a bottom. It's really hard to grasp. I think one great example of Studio Passione that kind of exemplifies my example is probably Lord of Vermilion. So for those who are unfamiliar, in I believe 2017 or 18, or is it 19? So I think 2018, I believe, or 19. I don't remember exactly. Studio Passione created an anime adaptation of a game called Lord of Vermilion. And by the way, Lord of Vermilion is a great game series, by the way. Fight me if you don't believe me. But the anime adaptation, the character designs were good, but the anime itself was abhorrent. Like for so I'm very on edge for Passione. Now granted, I have seen some great animes from Passione. It's just the fact that I'm not certain how they're going to adapt this. And let's be honest, this will be a generic this will be a generic fantasy powerhouse light novel adaptation. So if you hate your generic overpowered main protagonist, this show is not for you. But that's all I'm gonna say. So, the Natsu no Tazai, Bokushiroku no Yonkishi. Yep, Four Nights of the Apocalypse. I'm gonna pass on this, man. I feel like the Seven Deadly Sins lost too much momentum. Ragnar Crimson. Oh boy, yeah. Man, this okay. So we talked about this twice or 3 times already here on the channel. Ragnar Crimson. And the last time I talked about it, there was a trailer. Now we know it's 2 cours, so it's 24 episodes for this anime. And honestly, based on the trailers and everything I've seen, it is pure edgelord. Like, like the late 10s, like the late 2000s edgelord, like 2009, 2010 edgelord. It is crazy. And I feel like I probably watched this on a whim, but I don't feel as interested to watch now that I think about it, because I feel like I've grown out of this demographic. Now granted, this manga was published by Square Enix, which is even more surprising to me, honestly, because like of all the publishing series that Square Enix chooses Ragnar Crimson. And it is by Silverlink. Silverlink is pretty good, I guess, but I'll be honest, I can't really think of many Silverlink animes that is pure action. A lot of it has shonen elements, but they're not necessarily known for like pure action gore stuff. But let us continue though. The Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess. I'll pass on this, pass on this. A Girl and Her Guard Dog. This looks like something I will actually watch in secret. God damn it, man. This is probably something I will watch in secret because I'm just like that. But let us that's so awkward for man, I'm an awkward person. Let us continue though. Shangri-La Frontier. Shangri-La Frontier is so interesting. I've seen so much like so much advertising, that's the right word. I've seen a lot of advertising for the series, but I don't really know much, if not anything, about this series at all. So, yeah, I gotta pass on this. This here, I'm gonna pass Under Ninja. So, I don't really get... From my understanding, Under Ninja is a gag series. So, it's not meant to be taken seriously. So, it's supposed to be like a joke series, so I really want to check this out. But then again though, I'm not familiar with Tezuka Productions, so let us wait and see, guys. Okay, so Hakugo Shonen Hanako-kun. I feel like this was the biggest kick in the nuts for everybody, because I actually thought that Hanako-kun was going to get a remake or something, but it's really... This is more so of just a shorts, to put it simply. So I'm not very enthusiastic about this. Even though, I'm not gonna lie, Hanako-kun, to me, has a special place in my heart. This show encapsulates everything of my memory of anime that made it special into like an anime. Unique animation, interesting characters, killer, godlike OSTs, without a doubt. Yes, I love the OSTs for Hanako-kun. Fight me. I'm never wrong on that, guys. Hanako-kun has some great OSTs. Fight me. You don't believe me? Just listen to their OSTs, because you don't know what you're talking about. Because if you think Hanako-kun is a mediocre series, something's wrong with you. I think this series is a masterpiece, Hanako-kun. Like, the animation style is one of a kind. Like, to me, it is something truly special. I've been watching anime since I was a kid, over 10 years now. And, like, a lot of modern animes, they just kind of, even though they do, like, impress me, they just kind of come and go. But Hanako-kun, for some reason, I would be like, I know it. The moment I see it, I know it. It is a special place in my heart. Like, I don't know, man. Hanako-kun, it just kisses. MF Ghost. Oh boy, this is gonna be surprising for most people, but I'm not a big fan of the sequel here. I really just like I believe this is a sequel to Initial D. But if I'm being honest, I thought the original Initial D, the first season, was god tier. Like, not to mention the opening and the music for Initial D is god tier. Like, some legendary memes comes from, like, Initial D's music. You can't change my mind on that. I think Initial D is a masterpiece, but this, it just doesn't do it for me. Hoshiku's a telepath. Oh boy, Yuri. So a lot of people don't know this, but I'm a big sucker for Yuri animes. And here's the thing, Yuri animes nowadays are truly hit or miss. They either don't land at all or they land poorly. I really like the vanilla side of Yuri. So like the cute romance aspect of it, not necessarily the drama aspect of the Yuri side. I think one great example of what I'm exemplifying in terms of like dramatic Yuri is Citrus, for example. I was not a big fan of Citrus. I thought Citrus was way too overdone. It's kind of the same thing for NTR Netsuzo Trap. I thought Netsuzo Trap had potential, but it wasn't executed properly, and it landed very poorly. So I'm looking up to this because Yuri is a special genre to me, okay, guys? Secret. That's a secret, guys. Okay, what's next? Boshoku no Berserk. I don't know why people want me to talk about this. So I'm gonna give you my personal opinion on this. So Berserk of Gluttony, from what I know, is a light novel. And that's really all I know. The thing is that I'm not a big fan of the series. It is generic to me. I dropped it. Now, if you do want somebody who did read it, there are people on Reddit who have read this series and thought it was great. It's not for me personally, but if you like it, hey, congrats. And honestly, when the anime came out, when they announced the anime for this, I honestly just couldn't believe it. Because like I had like a flashback moment of like way back when my friend introduced me to this series. I was like, it just isn't for me. And I thought that my taste would change from like a young teenager to an adult now, but it still hasn't changed. I apologize if you like this series, but it's just average, if you get my drift. Overtake. This is an anime original. I'll pass on this. Tear Moon Empire. Huh. That's surprising. I don't know anything about this. It's a light novel too, and it's by Silverlink. It's a time traveling series. Huh. That's interesting. Maybe I'll check this one out of curiosity though. Oh boy, yes. 保険者になりたいと都に建てた娘が S レンになってた. Yes. Oh man. This series here is such a... Here's the thing. If you're not a fan of, like, the family genre, I guess, this is probably not for you, but if anything, this is a heartwarming series. I don't know if it will interpret that in this anime adaptation. I'm hoping it does, but this series here is, I don't want to say is one of a kind, but it makes you feel some type of way sometimes. It's kind of like, I think the best way to put it is passing on the torch from me to you, or to you to someone else. And I feel like you read the light novel, it makes you feel some type of way. Like it's like I walked so you could run. That's the feeling I get from the light novel. And I have talked about this the news on this here on the channel for those who are curious. So I really would like to see what they do with this because I have a lot to think about coming into this. I'm not saying it's a sad series. It's not a sad series. Not to me, at least. It's more of a heartwarming series. Shy. Shy is the anime original, I believe, right? Nope, it's a manga. I'm going to pass on this. Paradox, I'm going to pass on this as well. A Return's magic should be special. Pass on this. Dekaboko Maho no Oyako Jijo. So, this is a 4-panel manga. And honestly, I feel like this will work better as a short than it would as an actual anime. Like a full-length anime. But let's see what they do with this though. Because if they pull it off, I think it could work. But what I'm guessing they're gonna do is like put like multiple sections of the 4 panels per episode in terms of adaptation. So let us see what happens. Kamirabi, God app. They have some of the greatest people working on this anime. So for those who don't know, God app legit have all these amazing goddamn people behind this anime. Like the staff is god tier. They have Yoko Taro, the creator of the Nier series, behind this. And all these amazing people working on this series. And for some reason, they decided to put this whole anime into 3D CGI. So, oh boy. Here's my hot take. I feel like you can get the best people in the anime industry to create a great story. But the animation style in itself will really catch the atmosphere on what you're trying to convey. So, I'm pretty skeptical about this in terms of this anime God app. This is an anime original series, for those who are wondering. It's not adapted from any source material at all. This anime is a pure original concept made by Yoko Taro and some amazing people. I just felt like this probably would have worked if they used the traditional 2D animation. Now granted, I'm not saying 3D CGI animes don't work. They can work. It's just the fact that I feel like the technology is not there yet. So this to me is I'm very skeptical, put it that way. Buta no Liver wa Kanetsu Shiro. I'm actually a very big fan of the artist behind this light novel series. I forgot what's the artist's name, but this artist has some amazing eyes, like in terms of eye drawings, I guess. Because drawing the anime eyes is so different from like everybody else. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm not a big fan of this light novel. Even though it is by Project Number 9. Project Number 9 is known for creating the fantasy well, not fantasy, but like the comedy aspect of stuff. Comedy, rom-com, romance. That's where this anime studio is known for. So this is honestly fitting, just not for me personally. So I'll pass on that. Fully Coolly Shoegaze. There's only 3 episodes here. Huh. Taru Osan no VR MMO Katsudoki. I want to pass on this. It's by Maho Film. Man, that's crazy. Maho Film is doing another light novel adaptation. So for some reason, Maho Film is a relatively new anime studio, for those who are wondering. They made I'm Standing on a Million Lives, and they also made A Land of Liddell, and also some other animes. But most of hello there, Marco. But most of Maho Film currently is mostly either on the fantasy or isekai aspect of their stuff that they work on. So all of their anime projects is legit either isekais or fantasies. Oh yeah, another example of an anime adaptation is what'd you call it? God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, or the one about the kid in the slime. I forgot what's his name, but yeah, did you saw the post on Discord for detail? Yep, I did, Marco. As a matter of fact, I even made a talk about it. I'm not too surprised, honestly, that it's getting an actual, well, I don't want to say reboot or remake for GTO, the live action, if it is true, but very interesting though, by the way. Honestly, I don't think it needs a remaster or a remake, because I thought the original live action was good enough. So take it or leave it. But the hairstyle compliment though, I appreciate that. If I choose to style my hair once it grows out a little bit more, then maybe. But as of now, I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna let it grow out. But let us continue though, guys. Ume Musume Pretty Derby Season 3, pass on this. Yuzuki-san Chi no Yonkyo Dai, I'll pass on that. Bokura no Aurigo Protocol. Everybody wants me to talk about this, but I don't know anything about this at all. I made one video talking about this and that was it. So it's really just like an MMO sort of thing. Pass on this, pass on this, pass on this. Sorry, Idolmaster. I like the old school Idolmasters though, but not the recent ones, okay? Don't hate me on that. Okay, pass, pass, pass. Pass on these. Pass on these as well. Pass on these. Pass, pass. And that's really all there is for this, excuse me, this upcoming season. So, honestly, the only ones I know I'm going to watch without a doubt is Spy Family Season 2. Everything else is either I'm going to watch later on or I may not watch it until I have free time. Because like I stated, guys, for those who missed out on this live stream earlier, I discussed about my current schedule. I don't necessarily have time to be reading stuff because I keep putting more time to watching animes. And the only thing I've read recently to get it caught up was One Piece, the manga. Okay, guys? Yes. I was 2 chapters behind One Piece's manga, but I finally caught up again. But I haven't had time to be reading light novels, mangas, and donguas, and pretty much the whole 9 yards. So, in terms of reading, I've been slacking. But watching animes, I'm pretty much caught up with everything else. So Spy Family Season 2 is probably the only one I will watch for certain on a weekly basis. Everything else I'll either binge watch or wait until I get a better understanding of what I'm watching. But it's honestly a lot this anime season, or this upcoming season that is. And it's crazy too because I feel like last season, the summer just started. That's even the crazier part. Because like everybody's gonna forget about the previous season and just focus on what's this current season. I'm not gonna lie though, I think the Rising the Shield Hero Season 3 is gonna lose a lot of momentum. Well, it already lost a lot of momentum in Season 2 anyways, but I have so much skepticism when it comes to this anime. I feel like Shield Hero had a lot of attention because, like, where do you get with Leo and Filio? So currently on the manga for I Became the Melee's Adopted Daughter, I stopped on chapter 57 to 60, somewhere around there, maybe 63 at most. And the only reason why I stopped is because I just don't have time to read. I apologize for that, Marco. I just been busy, man. Because I'm saving on it. I will actually oh, by the way, Marco, you kind of missed out earlier, so I will explain what I plan to do. So the PC upgrade will happen in the next 2 to 3 months. This will happen no matter what, period. You can't stop me there. Like, I've been holding it back for way too long because of setbacks, but a lot of the setbacks I've dealt with. So now I'm trying to save up from my physical part-time job to actually save up for a new PC. So that's one thing. And the biggest thing I want to upgrade, like without a doubt, is the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi needs to be upgraded, but there's no promises on the Wi-Fi. I need to try though, however, because I feel like this internet is the big problem. Not necessarily the PC though. The PC limitations only holds back on gaming, but the overall live stream experiences comes from the actual Wi-Fi. Since this Wi-Fi is garbage dookie butter, even though it's pad, that's the thing I need to work on the most. But that's what we're going to be focusing on, guys, in the future, is upgrading this abhorrent Wi-Fi. So a new PC, that's going to happen no matter what. Wi-Fi, I'm going to try my best to get it done. And then in terms of my personal life, I've been just trying to get more voice acting work in. And that's the thing. And that's really about it, Marco. Everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. No, you read more than probably. You told me you go 50 match under season 1, so thank you. You should try too, John. Yeah, by all means, John. You should try anything, honestly. It doesn't hurt to try to read manhwas. Manhwas are more faster paced, but because of that, they focus a lot on the emphasis on movement. So although the text bubbles may not be as dense as a manga per se, they focus more on their action sequences. So be prepared for a manhwa. There is no bad manhwas though. I think the easiest manga for me to get into was Tower of God. But then again, though, Tower of God is more of a lore. It's more of a lore-based manga. But hey, still waiting for season 2 for Tower of God. And also, Solo Leveling. Everybody has been... Man. Solo Leveling, guys, has... Like, I've never seen... This is strange to say this, but I've never seen an animation to where it's so divisive among fans, like, leading up to the release. Because here's the thing, when A1 Pictures, that's the anime studio, by the way, that's working on Solo Leveling, when they announced Solo Leveling, the anime, everybody was super hyped. And then as time went on, as trailers were released, more information was revealed, voice actors and whatnot, everybody started to become more skeptical of Solo Leveling's anime. From what I've seen so far, and the voice acting work, the OSTs and everything, I thought it was fine. It's not horrible. But like, everybody... I don't know what everybody's expecting, man. Like, everybody has such high expectations for A1 Pictures. And mind you guys, for those who don't know, A1 Pictures is known for Sword Art Online. Ew. Okay, what is a better example? I could be wrong. Well, the animes they made. A1 Pictures is mostly known for... Ooh, man, that's crazy. When you think of A1 Pictures, the only thing I can think of is Sword Art Online. That's kind of cringe. But no, the A1 Pictures actually worked on the 7 Deadly Sins as well. The first 2 seasons, that is, before they switched anime studios. But it's kind of crazy, though, because you would think that if A1 Pictures worked on Solo Leveling, you would think it would be good. But the fact that everybody's so skeptical, it just kind of raises eyebrows now for me. Like, I don't even, like, without a doubt, I get it. You're skeptical, okay, of Solo Leveling's anime once it releases, but we should at least be thankful that they actually did make an anime, at least. Because, like, most of the times you're gonna get some sort of anime adaptation from another country if that was the case. For example, China, Korea, or Taiwan in some cases, in rare exceptions. But this is the thing that has me worried about Solo Leveling. So let us wait and see. I do hope that they don't change too much, though. From my understanding, I don't know why Japanese anime studios do this, but they usually change some things around to make it more Japanese focused. Which is honestly kind of it is a strange move to make. I think one great example is Noblesse. Noblesse is a great example of Japanifying a Korean manhwa. Who did Attack on Titan? What studio? What studio did Attack on Titan, if you're wondering? So, Attack on Titan was by what studio, for those who are wondering. But, tying it all back together, though, anime adaptations, man, I'm not gonna complain. As long as we get it, it's fine with me. It's just so surprising to see how people turned so quickly. But yeah, though, it is what it is, man. Attack on Titan is it part 4 or part 3? Part 2. It's honestly the end of Attack on Titan. And it's kind of strange because I thought that everybody was going to be super hype about its conclusion and whatnot, but it lost a lot of momentum, man. It took 10 years for that to happen too, by the way. For those who don't know, Attack on Titan came out in 2013, the anime. The manga came out in 2009. So, it's been such a very long time for Attack on Titan, and I was honestly burnt out. Because I did not read Attack on Titan when it aired. Like, I started reading Attack on Titan in 2013. So when the anime aired, that's when I started reading the manga. And I have to say, man, it took an extremely long time to get to the conclusion of Attack on Titan. And for me, honestly, I was kind of disappointed. But I was only disappointed because I was pretty much there from the beginning, the get-go. Now, the question I really want them to... Like, the thing I want them to... I know this would never happen, but there's actually a prequel story of Attack on Titan called Attack on Titan Before the Fall. And There is a story about Kokoro. I believe that was his name, the main character's name. And they go into depth about how they invented the 3D maneuver gear and whatnot. It is such an interesting story, but it will never ever be adapted into an anime. I don't think it ever will. Like, it just wouldn't happen because it's just the way it is. Well, Attack on Titan has a lot of great prequel stories, though. That one's probably my favorite. I think it came out in 2014, 2016, before the fall. It's a very old school prequel. It is not by Hajime Isayama, by the way, for those who are wondering. So yeah, it's by the storyboards and story beats is approved by Hajime Isayama, the creator of Attack on Titan. But the illustrator, the writer, and everything else is by somebody else, I believe. So I don't know if it's canon or not. That's the thing where I'm getting at. So take it with a grain of salt. But it is a great read, though. 10 years. It went by so fast. Yes, 10 years went by so quickly. I'm old. I'm trying to keep up with these young bloods or something. I don't know, these young people, the new generation, but I can't because I'm already too old. Honestly, I thought I was too late to join anime, but it's kind of surprising how I feel like I was too early now. That's kind of crazy, man. When I started anime, it was so niche and so much for the losers, I guess. And now you watch anime, you're considered to be the cool kids. So I guess I'm cool now, but it's whatever, I guess, man. 2000, anything from 2010 all the way up to current day, I can pretty much remember it like it was yesterday. Like in 2010, we have Anohana, the flower we saw that day, and like Hack, I believe, or Hack was 2009, 2008, somewhere between there. 2011, we had Steins Gate, and man, I love Steins Gate. 2012, we had Sword Art Online, and then 2013, we had we had Attack on Titan. 2014, we had Parasite, The Maximum. 2015, we had Konosuba. It just shows how much time flies, man. And then 2016, we have Tanya Saga of the Evil and all this amazing stuff. 2017, we had man, it's crazy. 2017, what did we have 2017? 2017, I did not watch much animes, I think, because I think at the time I was still working at my old part-time job before I left. I do remember the animes, but not like the popular animes of 2017, which is kind of surprising. I remember, guys. But anime in general has changed so much in a good way and bad way. I just hope that like all the current anime fans can enjoy what came before, though. Like Familiar Zero, Soro no Otoshimo, man, Air, Clannad, all those OG series. Higurashi, that's one great example. Like, those old series are amazing, man. Yojo Senki really need a new season. They announced a new season for Yojo Senki, but after that, they never did anything with it. I feel like... I keep saying I feel like. It just seems like they're just making excuse, like they're just announcing the anime and just never, like, delivering upon it. I'm hoping that they actually will make it, though. Even though they are making it, they're still taking their time, which is honestly taking much longer than I expected. But yeah, the Yojo Senki really needs a new season, though. I really want to see what they do with Tanya, because Tanya is a very interesting character. Because unlike most isekais, where like it's some edgy person or somebody becoming an overpowered character, like Tanya is not necessarily the most overpowered character in the series. The reason why is because her actual powers comes from praying to God. I know that sounds cheesy, but that is part of the plot, though. And but if you look at her from like just base Tanya, the only thing Tanya has is just her wits and skills. Like, that's really all Tanya has. So it is a very interesting perspective on the isekai genre for Yojo Senki. Yeah, like Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, nothing new. Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, man, I stopped reading it, but my god, I heard that like nothing has been happening. So, Marco, whatever happens in that series, I don't know, man, because I haven't been reading it. But Fairy Tail's 100-year quest, though, I feel like Hiro Mashima is pretty much moving on at this point. Because he's pretty much working on 3 series. So, I don't really see him continue with Fairy Tail, to be honest. Because, Dead Rock, was it? Like, that's his latest series that he's working on after Eden Zero and whatnot. I'm very interested to see what they do with it, though. Still a lot I really want to question him about, though. Tanya has a crazy personality. True. That is so true, man. Tanya is a one-of-a-kind character in most cases. For a main protagonist, that is, for an isekai. You won't see that too often, or too frequently. What's for the winter season? I'm curious. Solo leveling's for... Okay, so there's Tsukimichi. It's for next year. Eden Zero is ending soon. Yup. We know that. I talked about that here on the channel, Marco. Remember? Eden Zero coming to an end. And then him working on the new series, Dead Rock. Hiro Mashima... Here's the thing about Hiro Mashima. He has a really hard time killing off characters. So there's really no tension or anything at stake. But where he excels at is pacing and storytelling in most cases. The only reason why Fairy Tail is like the lower half of his works is because it was never meant to be a long-running series. So it just kind of happened the way it is. Now for me personally, I still like Rave Master a lot. And the only reason why is because Rave Master is not perfect. It's very flawed for an anime and manga as well. But the main character, the Haru, I like him a lot. He is just like your typical fantasy, protagonist. So it's a really, I don't want to say it's lighthearted, but it's like a run-of-the-mill show that you can watch as a back burner. Problem with Hiro is that he needs to chill a little. That dude needs a break. Oh my gosh. I'm surprised that nobody has forced that guy to go on a freaking break, man, because the manga industry has been burning out. Like, he really needs to chill. It's just so surprising to me how he's still alive, like, in terms of, like, good health. Because he just keeps putting out stuff, yo. It's just so strange to me. But then again, though, Hiro Mashima, he does his best when the stories are short. I feel like if he writes very long stories, it just doesn't work out, man. Don't hate me for saying that, just my honest opinion. But yeah, though, Hiro Mashima, I'll give him a pass as of now. Not for Fairy Tail, though. I wasn't... Fairy Tail really fell off the later half. Oh, man. It had potential, though, but it just didn't really deliver. Oh, man. But yeah, though, looking at this current anime season, it looks pretty good, I guess. Nothing too crazy. Oh, wow. We talked about these shows, too. Hold up. Majo no Yaju. Huh. That's funny. A lot of these series I'm not familiar with. What the heck? I mean, we talked about this one here. But these are not... I'm not familiar with these. Well, some of these, that is. We talked about this one here. What is this? Metallic Rogue. Or Rogue. It's an original. Get Guy Elise. Whoa, that's Maho film? Hold up. They're adapting a manhwa? Huh. You don't like Fairy Tales, but you still watch all episodes. No, I didn't. I did not watch all the episodes for Fairy Tail. I forgot where I stopped, but I really got... I think, where did I stop, actually? I don't remember where I stopped. Was it where... Gosh, I don't even remember. I stopped... Here's the thing about me, though. The reason why I stopped was because I already read the manga, so I already knew the conclusion. And at this point, I just said to myself, like, what's the point of actually watching this anime if I already know what's going to happen? So I legit just dropped it all together. And then what? And then what? Wow, I stumbled. And then eventually, my friend actually finished the series. I legit just asked him, yeah, so how's the anime? Is it like the manga? He's like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, okay, it's good. Then I went back and actually watched Fairy Tail, Dragon's Cry, because Dragon's Cry takes place after the events of Fairy Tail, like after it ended. So it's pretty much the true ending, and that's essentially how I completed Fairy Tail. So in terms of the anime, I wouldn't necessarily say I watched all the episodes. I watched almost all of them, but not all of them. And that's where I like to leave it, guys. Because but I don't like Fairy Tail's ending. I thought it was way too rushed. By the way, though, maybe I should look back on it. I don't know. We should do like a look back. But I'm surprised that this here is actually getting an adaptation by Maho Film. Oh boy, this is a manhwa too. If you like the manga, you'll watch the anime until the end. If I like the manga, that's the thing. I was not a big fan of the manga's ending. Now the part where they revealed that Natsu was Ethra's Natsu Dragneel, I thought that part was fine. The part I did not like was the ending. Because it just kind of happened. It was not rushed. Oh boy. That I have to disagree on that. I'm so sorry, Marco. We can have our opinions, but I disagree with that ending. Even if it was not rushed, I really think the execution was not necessarily that impressive. Now granted, because it just wouldn't really make sense to me because how strong man. Look, Natsu had the power of 8 dragons against Zeref, his own brother. But Zeref is said to have killed thousands of dragons. So logically to me it wouldn't really make sense. And then the excuse he uses was, when I say excuse I mean Hiro Mashima. He uses the fact that he is Ethra's Natsu Dragneel. I was like, oh my god, that is so ridiculous to me. Because the thing is that we know that End was supposed to be like the strongest creation of Zeref. The only downside is that like we never got to see the full power level of End, aka Ethra's Natsu Dragneel. So it really just cuts so fast to us. I feel like if they give us time to flesh out Natsu using his End abilities, quote unquote, his Ethra's Natsu Dragneel abilities, then it will probably justify a bit more. But the fact that it came within the last 20 chapters, yes, you heard that right, the last 20 chapters, Ethra's Natsu Dragneel, and they couldn't explain it into depth, it really just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Now here's the part where I really don't like. They literally dropped the whole exposition within 2 chapters of his whole backstory, 2 to 3 chapters. And I feel like that in itself was just so poorly done. Because yes, granted, now we understand more about Natsu, his background and whatnot, and the fact that Zeref, used his younger brother, aka Natsu, to turn him to End. Well, that makes sense for the End full power. But that's the thing though. Oh my god. They never clarify the potential here. It's really conflicting because I feel like it's not this is so hard to explain. It's poorly explained because you have to remember, we did not know that End was Natsu Dragneel, okay? We didn't know that End was Natsu. Hear me out. So, because up until then, the last 200 chapters and whatnot, the only thing we knew about End was that End was this very powerful creation or demon created by Zeref. We didn't know what or who End was until like the last 100 chapters. There we learned that End was actually an acronym for Ethra's Natsu Dragneel. And that in itself wasn't necessarily the problem. I actually didn't have a problem with that at all. So, and being Natsu, that's fine. But the thing is this: Zera's first creation, which is pretty much canon, by the way, his first creation was Ethra's Natsu Dragneel. And the problem was that it's his first creation, but it's not his strongest creation, supposedly. But it just doesn't make sense. So they're living off the. So basically, we're going off a basis of N's possible. Like, everything is what ifs. We're just reaching here. We don't know the full potential of N. Because, oh my god, it is so bad when Hiro Mashima needs to clarify on how good End can be, because End it was just so poorly done. Oh my gosh. Not to mention that Natsu is tied to the book of End, by the way. I thought that idea was just not a great idea. If he had to be turned to a demon, then yeah. Bro, oh my god, this excuse. Human and demon. Oh my god. That's where I'm getting at. It was so last second. We learned that see, this is the problem I have. There was exposition, but it was given to us so last second that they didn't have time to flesh it out. Yes, Natsu had two seeds, the human and the demon seed. That's the thing you need to understand. But remember though, this was not told to us before the final fight. This was told to us pretty much during the final fight. So, if anything, it's not a conclusive fight, because yes, we learned the truth about Natsu, but we learned it at the very last second, essentially. And the reason why Hiro Mashima did that was to use it as a Deus Ex Machina, so that way, like, there's actually a way of defeating Zeref. It was not used as a proper exposition in itself. Even though people see it that way, I don't. It's just not a good way to tell story. Like, it's really bad. I'm sorry. I just can't wrap my head around it. It does make sense, but the way it was done was just done poorly. And you have to remember, Hiro Mashima did not want Fairy Tail to be a long-running series in the first place anyways, but the publishing company had to make that man write as many chapters as possible. Which is why after the third arc, or the fourth arc, with the Heavenly Tower, they legit just kind of roll with the ball. It is just that you hate Fairy Tail. I don't hate everything about Fairy Tail. I just hate some things about Fairy Tail. The thing is this: when Fairy Tail has strengths, it has strengths. I'll give them that. But when it has flaws, it is way too much of a weakness. Other shows I have problems with as well, but the thing is this: they're not long-running series for most of them, or otherwise, they have balances to cancel each other out. The thing about Fairy Tail is that it has a lot of loose ends. There is a lot of loose ends in Fairy Tail. And they made dragons cry before the actual ending, which is kind of confusing now that I think about it. Like, Dragon's Cry was supposed to be after the actual anime, but it is just, no, I just can't accept that. Dragon's Cry is a good movie though, I will give credit there. But it's just the way Fairy Tail, the anime, ended. It's just not conclusive to me. If you can close off everybody's story arc, then I will be satisfied. But the thing is that it doesn't necessarily do that. A lot of characters are still open book. So you don't really know what happened to them. Like, you don't know what happened to them, honestly. If I'm being honest. If we exclude the main team in Fairy Tail, everybody else's conclusion is pretty much left open-ended. It's not a conclusive long-running series. Now, look, that's just my hot take. Take that as what you will. I have a very strong bias on Fairy Tail because I actually liked Fairy Tail when it came out. The anime came out in 2009. I remember the first episode too of Fairy Tail when I watched it. That's kind of crazy. It came out in 2009. That is just, wow. Time flies now that I think about it. But boy, oh boy, though, I have have a lot of like personal grudge against Fairy Tail's ending. I used to, I'm not even gonna lie, I used to love Fairy Tail, but it just really has not been. No, it falls off the later half. I feel like if they actually hinted at this stuff earlier, it would make much more sense. But they keep Hiro Mashima keeps doing that off the wall, like just right at it. It just doesn't work for me. But hey, you're free to have your own opinion though. But I'm just saying though, man, Fairy Tail has a lot of glaring open-ended, they have a lot of loose ends. Put it that way. But the thing is that I would really like to see what happens to every single character though, because I know that 100 Years Quest, it takes place after everything, so who knows? Maybe they'll conclude everything there. Let's hope so, because it's just so open book. By the way, my favorite character in Fairy Tail is Mystogon. Yeah, Edala's Jalil. That was my favorite character in Fairy Tail, by the way. Mystogon. God, he's so cool. But still though, that ending, I just can't accept it. Eden Zero is surprisingly good. That is the interesting thing. Everybody was skeptical of Hiro Mashima after Fairy Tail, but that's the thing that people don't understand. Hiro Mashima is actually a really decent writer. It's just that when he's forced to write long series, it doesn't go well. But all of his short-running series, they're all done pretty good. Like, they're decent. He's just not made for writing long stories. But if you don't believe me, then go check out his older works, because his older works were fine. I really like Rave Master though. Rave Master's opening is so nostalgic, by the way. Every time I hear it, I just know it's like, that's Rave Master. And it's kind of funny too, because Plu's in it. Oh man, people forgot about Plu. When people think of Plu, they think of Fairy Tail, but when I think of Plu, I think of Rave Master. That's just the crazy part. I just can't see like Rave Master without Plu, because Plu is legit the power source for Haru almost. Especially for his weapon sandal phone and whatnot. Didn't watch Eden Zero. Same here. I stopped watching Eden Zero's anime, and for the manga, I'm not caught up with it. But from what I've heard, I heard that Eden Zero is pretty good. So I have hopes that it will actually do well. And it is ending, and once it ends, Hiro Mashima is going to work on his latest series, excuse myself, Dead Rock. And that man needs a break. I don't know exactly how that man just keeps coming up with ideas, but if he's gonna write a series, man, the first thing he needs to focus on is the ending. Any good series needs a good ending. Rave Master isn't short. Rave Master isn't over 100 episodes though, so it's not long either. I think it's short enough. Like, that's just my personal opinion, guys. Don't take that as is. Not to mention, they reuse a lot of the characters from Rave Master into Fairy Tail, by the way, which is kind of interesting. Such a Sieg. Oh man, they reused him as Jalil. I was like, oh my god, Fairy Tail, what have you done? What have you done to my characters? I still prefer Rave Master's designs over Fairy Tail's in some ways. It's kind of interesting though. No one really talks about Hiro Mashima's older works, but only Fairy Tail. Even though Fairy Tail is his most notable work, it's not his popular work though. Not to mention the PSP games for Fairy Tail were not good. No offense, man. For those who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Fairy Tail's PSP games, those were not really that good, if I'm being honest. I feel like they just try to capitalize on Fairy Tail's popularity at the time, releasing those PSP games. And those PSP games were not that great. No offense, the combos were not that strong in my personal opinion. And not to mention, nobody even talked about it, which is even more disappointing. So, it's kind of sad to see. But hey, though, maybe one day somebody will bring back the former glory of Fairy Tail's PSP games. There was 2 of them, I believe. I don't remember the second PSP game, but I do remember the first one though, and the first one did not do too well. I think it was mostly a Japan exclusive, I believe. I don't know if it ever came out to the West, such as Europe, USA, and Canada, and Australia. I don't think it ever did. Well, actually, I think it probably did. I need to go look at it. But I remember when they announced the game, I already knew that was going to be bad news, man. Especially on a PSP. I was like, oh my god. Why is this not on the PS3 or Xbox 360? Why is this on a PlayStation Portable? Oh man, that is such nostalgia, man. Just thinking about that. When was that? Like 2000 and what? Such a very long time ago, man. I'm aging like fine wine. Just going back talking about the most irrelevant things about Fairy Tail. Not to mention Fairy Tail's PSP games were not good. Don't hate me for saying that. They just were not good. Even for its time, it just had mediocre reviews. If you don't believe me, go search it up. Fairy Tail PSP game. I forgot what it called. It was called something. And I believe there was 2 PSP games. And they're not canon, by the way. Those, the stories for those were originals. So, I don't see why anybody will even bother playing them. I need to go look back on that now. That was such a history and time for me. Oh man, I remember I actually wanted the PSP games too. That is just so crazy. Oh my gosh. And then I think it was about 4 to 5 years ago. I looked back on it and I was like, yeah, this gameplay is pure not good. It's mediocre at best, but it is janky. It is very janky, man. But I'll never forget though. It was still alright though. I think it would hold up somewhat decent now, but it probably wouldn't hold up as well because of the frames. I think it was stuck at a set frame of 30 frames per second because it was a PSP handheld. So the graphics at that time will be, it's not glitchy but slow. But man, I remember way back when I really wanted the PSP games for the Fairy Tail. Like, oh my god, I can't believe that was me. Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't buy it. Instead, I saved up money to buy something else. But that was a moment though. Like, it was such a cringe moment. Like, you would not believe how hard I worked because I wanted that game. But I'm glad I didn't get it because now I probably would have regretted it. But yeah though guys, I guess we'll just call this for a day. I don't really have much plans now. Because everything I've talked about today, I pretty much told my whole plans going in. Alright guys, so before I log off, here's the recap on the plans for the future. 1, the PC will be upgraded within the next 2 to 3 months, so expect that. So let's hope nothing gets in the way too, financially. So I will upgrade the PC in the future. 2, I'm going to try to upgrade this Wi-Fi. I don't want to make promises on the Wi-Fi because I feel like it really just depends on how the internet provider service does, I guess. If the internet service provider does a good job, then hey, yay, we get better Wi-Fi. If not, then oh well. We just kind of wait and see. And also my videos, I'm cutting back on a lot of the anime news videos, and the reason why is because I want to start posting content as an actual talent. So I really want to post out videos that focuses on voice acting and whatnot, because I'm trying to get some voice acting stuff going, and I'm hoping that something within voice acting will work out in the future. So let us hope that will work out, but fingers crossed, because I'm still kind of skeptical. And also guys, the biggest thing of all, we really got to pray that it will work out, because I don't make promises. I try not to, by the way. But yeah though, that's really about it. Everything else is pretty much still the same. Work is work, tarantula work is tarantula work. And that's pretty much it, guys. But I don't know exactly when I'll live stream again, but I'll post it on the Discord whenever I do decide to live stream again. So, without further ado, guys, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. And also, if you want to join the Discord, there's links to that down below. And with that, yeah, that's really about it. And until next time, baby, I'm going to be doing more voice work. So,